Greetings, ladies and gentlemen of the YouTube. I am Joe Atticus-Inch, and after recording today's episode of Poet Love, I went on my Facebook page and I noticed a post from one of my favorite poets, Andrea Gibson. The post talked about a new project that she started with a person named Kelsey Gibb it's a website called Stay Here With Me. I have the post on here. Let me just read it to you. Hi everyone. I have never been more excited to write a letter to the community. 1 year ago, my good friend Kelsey Gibb and I started brainstorming a project called Stay Here With Me. After months and months of work, today is the official launch. Stay Here With Me is a website created to prevent suicide by forming a safe space for discussion and support regarding issues including trauma, mental illness, and suicidality. Stay Here With Me hopes to present an interactive, safe space offering collective support while encouraging individual healing to help keep those who visit alive today and wanting to stay alive until tomorrow. That's the opening of the post. And I am no happier but to support a project like this. That is why I'm recording this video. Because I am a suicide thinker, mental depression survivor. So I am here to tell you my story of depression and suicide. The first time I thought about suicide, I was in 6th grade. I was a bully child. I wanted a way out. And that was the first time I thought about suicide. I was in 6th grade. No. Yeah, 6th grade. I talked to a counselor. He had me call the suicide helpline in the principal's office, and after talking for a while, I was fine. That was back when I lived in Michigan, and then I moved to Ohio in couple months after that. So, and life was good. I was making a lot of new friends here in Ohio. None of the friends that I have now, but still. I was still bullied, but I had friends. But the problem is because I was spending more time with my friends than in my studies, I started failing my classes. And back in Michigan, I was a straight A and B student. So failing a class was hard on me, especially when I disappointed my mother. I got grounded. My life was just kind of spiraling down as much as a 7th grade mind can. A 7th grade life can. I mean, it sounds stupid now, but at the time. So I started thinking about suicide again. I hated what I was doing with my mother. I saw my life going nowhere. And and again, I saw the school counselor about it, and instead of calling a suicide helpline, they called my mother. And my mom supported me. She brought up the point to me is like, because it was all selfish. The first two thoughts of suicide, for me was just selfish. But she's the one who pointed out, it's like, I wasn't thinking about how my death would affect my mom, how my death would affect my grandparents, or any other members of my family. So after that, I started to get better. Um, in high school is when my anxiety started kicking in, but it wasn't as bad as it got. It wasn't until about 11th grade. My junior year of high school was the breaking point. I was starting to fail my classes again. I I wasn't achieving what I wanted in life. I things were getting hard per se. It's hard to explain now because part of it was selfish, but I'll get into. And I I remember thinking when I was in a program called the Christopher Program, which was a alternative liberal arts program for kids who didn't fit in. Um, there were a lot of things just going on. And I was in my mind screwing up in life, and my life was going nowhere as I saw it. And it started slowly. I wasn't a cutter. I was a whipper. Which means I took any form of long cord I could, and I would start lashing myself on the back like you would see like monks' disciplines, and because I knew no one was really gonna punish me, because I mean what I was doing wasn't as bad as it was perceived in my own mind. So I I started whipping and myself, and when that wasn't satisfying anymore, there was a moment where I got in an argument with my mom because kept miss. I just got my license. I was driving to one of my Christopher program special functions. We just finished our writing project, which is where I really got serious into poetry, and I kept missing the exit. I just got my license. Um, was trying to call my mom, but I had a phone that took minutes. And when I finally was about to get on the exit, I mean, my mom's worried. She doesn't know this area as well as I do now, and I really didn't know the area as well as I do now. And so she asks, it's a long story. It's a hard story to tell too. I but she was mad at me because I got lost, because not because I got lost, but because I was using gas, and because I couldn't give her an exact time that I was going to be home after all this. It was stressful to her, and she just, stress sometimes makes you say things that you don't want to say. But because so I went up to my room after that, and I whipped myself and I cursed myself, and it was at that point I was talking to my mom the day after, and I told her, "Mom, I need help. I Because I mean, it wasn't just the whipping too. This is I apologize for my rambling as it may seem, but this is sometimes hard stuff for me to talk about as much as I can be open to talk about it. I was also getting in trouble because I started smoking. I mean doesn't seem like anything who knows me now knows that I am a smoker. But I was 16, and the reason, and like, I smoke now because I'm addicted. It's simple as that. But I was smoking then because I wanted cancer. I did not have the strength to just kill myself. In the ways that you usually hear about. My family's never been gun owners, and thank God, because if we were, I would have probably shot myself. I had no way to hang myself. Like I said, I wasn't a cutter. Um, but after my mom's trying to apologize to me, I'm yelling at her, telling her I fucked up. That I was gonna be like turn out like my father, which is another story altogether. And um, my and I told her I need help. I needed help. So, um, we got me help. I went, we got me to a therapist, and I started going to weekly sessions with a therapist. I was diagnosed with depression. I was put on medication, which is something I never thought I would be on in my life. And it helped. Me personally, being diagnosed with depression, I know my brain chemistry isn't right. The medication does help, and the talking with the therapist helped, and my talking to my friends helped, and my friends were very supportive, and that got me through high school. And so, first year of college, I was on a very low dose of medicine, and adjusting to college can be hard. But throwing my disorder, I was feeling like if I swallowed the entire bottle of pills I had, I still would not be happy. So I went cold turkey. I stopped taking my medicine. And I flipped out. I there was things going on which if I was in the right state of mind I could have handled, but I was not in the right state of mind. I was in manic depressive off his medication. I stopped going to classes. I boarded myself up in my room. I said stupid shit to people who didn't deserve it. I did stupid things to people who didn't deserve it. I started seeing the counselor at school, and that helped a little, but on January 18th, 2008, that was the day I was going to die. I remember that date. I will never forget that date. I hit the breaking point. I was total breaking point. I, in my mind, believed that I fucked up too much to ever receive redemption. So this was the plan. I dressed up in my best clothes that day. I was gonna go to my classes. I told one of my friends to help me get into there. And on the campus, there was an old dormitory that a lot of people believe were haunted. They had a window taken out. I was gonna have my friend help me get in there, and I just was gonna tell him because I had gone through some episodes where with the pushing the people away that I just needed some time alone to think. But the plan was, I believed that there was something in there. I'm a very big believer in the paranormal, and I know that like that spirits like that react on the energy that the person is giving. At least that's my belief. Me being so negative, I was kind of hoping that if there were spirits in there, they would take me out. And if they weren't, there was a big hole on the second floor that went straight down to the basement, and I was going to let myself fall to make it look like an accident. But waiting outside my first classroom, my twisted and unmedicated, disordered brain, I was hearing something, and it sounded like footsteps. There was no one else in the building. I kept hearing footsteps, and it kept freaking me the fuck out. So I went to the counselor, having a straight panic attack. When I was talking with the counselor, she left the room for a minute. And when she came back, she told me that there was someone here to see me. And I walked into the next room, and it was my mother and my stepfather. Because of my behavior, I was asked to leave the college. And as much as I tried to fight in that room, when my mother tried to comfort me, I tried to push her away, and everyone thought I was going to hit her, which I would never. And so at that point, we packed up my room and I left the college. I went back to therapy. I went back to therapy. I got a higher. We evened out my medicine to a point where it works now. That was in 2008, so that was 5 years ago, and I'm still here. I'm still here because of people like Andrea Gibson, who want people to stay alive. Because of my friends, because of poetry, which is the reason why I do the Poet Love show. Because I wouldn't be here if it wasn't for the work of these people, for being in this community, and I want to show my appreciation. For 5 years now, I have not thought about killing myself. I've stayed on my medication. I've done a lot of things now with my life that I'm happy to say, and I look forward to the future now. I've done a lot of things too with my body. If you haven't heard the "To Write Love on Our Arm" movement, let me work this camera here. I tattooed love and I tattooed peace on my arms. Because during my incidents at Antioch, I did start cutting. I started cutting and I started burning myself. And I don't want to do that anymore. And there are times now where, when things get stressful, I want to, but I just look down and I remember to love myself. I know I ripped that line from a Buddy Wakefield poem, kind of. And also because my big problem when I was off my medication, throughout all my episodes of depression, of thinking about suicide, I tried to keep it to myself and I tried to fight it alone. I pushed people away. I don't like doing that. So I got the love and I got the peace tattooed to my arm to remind myself to not push people away, but to open your arms to them. There will be people there to help you. And there are people there who you can help. And that's my story. If you suffer, if you've had any thoughts, serious thoughts about suicide, if you feel like you want to end it all, please seek help. Because there is no point for you to. You can visit the website now that it's up, staywithme.com. You please find some way to get help. Maybe the person who is running it with Andrea, Kelsey Gibb, is a qualified mental health professional. But also seek other help. Don't keep it to yourself. Don't keep it to yourself. Look for help. There will be people there to help you. And I really hope that this project does exactly that. That's my story. Please support staywithme.com. Stay here with me. God, I've been calling it the wrong thing this entire video. Stay here with me. It will be right here. This is the website right here. Andrea, thank you. Kelsey, thank you. And again, I love you all. I love you all.